When you're going out with a guy that you have serious intentions about, and it turns out he doesn't return those intentions, it's like a punch in the gut. Sometimes we don't even see the breakup coming. And here's the biggest problem with this. When you go through your dating life feeling like men have wasted your time, you become bitter against men. And, people can feel your energy. If you continue to bring this bitterness into your next relationships, that kind of energy is not the most attractive to be around. It's not only that, it's important that we don't let people into our lives who are just going to waste our time or use us as placeholders until they find something better. Because when the rubber hits the road, or you finally have to ask, where are we, or where is this relationship going? They're just not ready for a commitment. Or when you start posing that question, they start to pull away, and then in disastrous instances, they disappear out of your life completely. It sucks and it hurts. And if this is something that you have confusion with, or that you are currently struggling with in your dating life, then grab a bottle of nail polish, let me know in the comments what color you are showing your self-love with today, and let's talk. I've dated guys who were serious about me, and I've definitely dated some guys who were not. And there are some patterns in the intentions of these men that show up in their actions and their words, and I want to share them with you today. And then at the end, I would like to share with you what I feel is the absolute number one way a man will never take you seriously. All right, this first one is not only from my experience, but the answer I've gotten from guys that I've talked to over the years when I say, hey, if you could pick out a big difference in how you treat girls that you take seriously and how you treat girls that you don't, what do you do different? And one of the things they've all said is they don't take women that they don't take seriously around their friends and family. But what if you've been seeing this guy for a couple of months and you have some mutual friends? If you've been seeing someone for 6 months or a year, it is almost impossible not to go out around some friends and family by that point. I'll go out with these guys that aren't serious about me as a long-term partner, and they're very distant towards me around other people. One of the main patterns I saw between these guys is we would go out on dates, and it's almost like they would act like we weren't even at the venue together. You can go out and, you don't have to stick at the hip the entire night, but there's really not any of that care or how are you doing or checking in or attentiveness going on. I've even had a couple of instances where I'll be out at a bar, with our group of friends, and other guys at the bar will come up to me and start talking to me and flirting with me because they don't even realize I'm already there with somebody. And speaking about doing things out in public, any guy that was okay with me showing any kind of nudity, like sensitive areas, out in a public setting, was not someone who took me seriously. I'll give you a couple of examples. I used to like to go out drinking with my boyfriend and all of our friends, and this was a guy that did not take me seriously. And he would make jokes like, oh, flash him a boob to get a shot. Yeah, that guy didn't really care. It was a joke and it was funny, but honestly, he wouldn't have cared if I did it because he didn't really, in his heart, truly care about me. I was dating another guy and St. Patrick's Day was coming up, and he actually was telling me about a Shake Your Shamrocks contest he thought I would enjoy participating in. Men do want to show off their women, but there's a difference between showing them off and letting them exploit themselves and being perfectly fine with it. If your guy makes jokes out in public that sound a little mean about you guys never getting married, like they don't feel like 100% jokes, you know in your gut that that was an off comment, and it might have even upset you a little bit the way that he said it. Trust your gut. That man probably is not and does not have any intention of marrying you. I've had a guy do this to me before, and yeah, it was embarrassing and it upset me. And it was kind of a joke, but it kind of wasn't. And it turns out it wasn't a joke at all. He broke up with me. We never got married. Ooh, here's a good one. There was one time I was seeing a guy, and it was about 3 or 4 months into the relationship, and it was Christmas time. He did get me a few gifts, which was very nice. But after about 4 months of seeing him, none of the gifts matched who I was as a person. But noticeably, nothing he got me like a book and a piece of like a fun knickknack for my house and things like that. They were not my taste. They were not my style. They weren't the colors I liked. It wasn't the kind of thing I was interested in reading. This guy had no idea who I was because 4 months into the relationship, he had not bothered to get to know me. He wasn't serious about me. And actually, that same guy refused to take me to his favorite bar. He used to like to go to a line dancing bar, and I really enjoy line dancing. Oh, I wanted to go so bad, and he knew I wanted to go. And I would find out every time he went because, social media and things like that. And he would just go with his friends, and he would never invite me to go. And I'm like, I enjoy line dancing. Why wouldn't you want to take the girl that you are dating, that you've been dating for a few months, to your favorite bar to have a good time and dance? Because he wasn't serious about me. He knew that the relationship wasn't going to last. He didn't want to introduce me to people that he knew regularly at that bar. And he probably, when we did eventually break up, didn't want that bar to remind him of me. He wanted it all for himself. Hi. Guys who take you seriously as more than a hookup will message you more than the word hey. Ladies, please do yourself a favor and just never answer the hey. Never ever answer the hey. Not to be confused with the howdy boys that send a fun little cowboy emoji. That's how my guy got me. And you know what? He was fun. And speaking of having fun, guys who are serious about you want you to have a good time. They want you to feel good. But more importantly, it bothers them if they disappoint you, even if it's a mistake. There was one night where after work, I was supposed to meet the guy I was seeing downtown so we could hang out with some friends. I got out of work and I was really tired, but I still pulled it together and got myself all made up and dressed and ready to go. I called him to ask where he was so I could meet him, and he said he was tired and he was just going home. Now, of course, I was pretty upset because I wish that I had been able to just go home and put my jammies on and relax. But I got all dressed up to meet him because we had a plan. And past Maria, of course, started nagging on him about this, which I should not have done. I should have let him show me who he was, and then I should have started backing off of the relationship and evaluating this man who was blowing me off for dates. And he was blowing me off. He knew I was disappointed. He could have stayed out for at least another hour to meet me, but he didn't, because he didn't take me seriously. He didn't really care about how I felt. And we dated for a year. This is what I mean. If someone's not serious about you, but you keep letting them get away with things, they'll waste your time as long as you let them. Trust me, it didn't take a year. Before that night, that guy had already given me plenty of signs that he wasn't in this for a serious commitment. But it's hard to see what we don't want to see when we really like somebody. Now, here's the number one way I believe that you will completely sabotage your chances of a guy taking you seriously. It's a two-parter. First, you meet him on a dating app. Let's face it, online dating almost has a stigma to it these days. What do you think of when you think of Tinder? And I do understand it's not everybody. Not everybody is doing online dating just for hookups. I personally know a girl who met her current husband online. I do get that. That's why this is a two-parter. If you meet a guy online and immediately sleep with him the first night that you meet him, I feel like it will be almost impossible for you to have this guy ever take you seriously and see you as anything more than a hookup. This nail polish by ILNP is beautiful. It's called Black Magic. As in, it would take some serious form of black magic to ever get that guy to commit. My name is Maria Adrianna. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting The Other Half.